Imagine being invited to the most beautiful wedding you've ever seen. A remote island, candlelight, champagne, perfect photos.
Now imagine the lights go out, and when they come back on, someone is dead.
Everyone had a reason. Everyone has a secret. And everyone swears it wasn't them.
This week on Books with Boo, we're talking about The Guest List by Lucy Foley.
A wedding thriller where the question isn't who died, it's why it took so long.
We're breaking down the characters, the red flags, and the moment everything went wrong.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Welcome back to Books with Boo.
Spoilers.
There are spoilers in this podcast. This week we are going to jump into a beer from Round Trip. I was just there yesterday. Great spot down in Atlanta. We drink a lot of Atlanta beers because Atlanta makes some good beers. So this is Round Trip's Dunkelplatz. It's a Munich-style dark lager.
My favorite.
It is really good beer. Just to read it real quick, it says there in the heart of darkness, where shadows dance and desires lurk, you'll find Dunkelplatz. Fear not, it rewards those who choose the darker, more sinister path. Crafted with Munich and crystal malts, Dunkelplatz offers a rich, malty embrace. The noble hops add a subtle complexity, balancing the darkness with a touch of light. So it says it's malty, dark, and smooth. So I'm going to pour these up. They are 12 ounces, so we're just going to do a can each, but we're going to pour them so we can look at them. While I'm doing that, give us something to talk about.
Well, I'm going to start with the word of the week. Going off of Bibliophile from last week, I'm probably going to say this one wrong, but lectophile, it's basically a person that loves the act of reading itself, regardless of its format. So that could be books, ebooks, or it could be audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like ebooks.
And I like books and ebooks.
I guess I like audiobooks. I was thinking that was an ebook, but that's an audiobook. Oops.
It's okay.
Okay, so can you say that word one more time?
Lectophile.
Lectophile?
Lectiophile.
Lectophile. Okay.
It's like a spelling bee over here.
I like it. Lectophile. Bibliophile was last week. Lectophile this week. All right, cool.
Now let's try my favorite beer from Round Trip.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers. If y'all are ever in Atlanta, highly recommend you try their Dunkel. It is the best Dunkel. It's so roasty and so good.
So smooth. Yeah. Dark, smooth, malty. Yeah. I don't really get a lot of roast, but...
Not a lot, but like in the beginning, I get roast.
Okay.
And then it goes.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm not a beer expert. I just know I really like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into it. So I know that I think you have your talking points written down. So you want to jump into some of those, or do you want to start going through mine first, or?
Let's change it up and you go first. And then
all right.
I may jump in with some of my talking points because I know some of mine are going to go with yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that will work out well. Well, this week I took a different approach, and I had chat help me out with my notes. So I took my notes that I write, that I usually just look off my phone at when we're doing these things, and I compiled them, put them into the chat, and asked it to organize and, kind of help me out. And it said, hey, you actually took some good notes. Now, it's probably just chat talking me up, but it cross-referenced and corrected where needed without rewriting my notes. It pulled out strong podcast-ready talking points, so I'm excited about that. And then it gives discussion prompts. So, I'm going to try to go with this flow this episode, and we'll see how that goes. So the book overview, it's grounding for listeners.
The dog was stretching.
Gotcha. So the book overview, the novel alters between the wedding night, which is when the murders occur, and then the earlier POV chapters, which you said to me last time, and I agree with you now after listening to this one. I did enjoy that. I like the different POVs, so that was really cool. I did like the wedding night, pretty much took it minute by minute through the wedding night, and it starts with screams, or like the lights go out, screams, and then you start going back in time. And then when you go back to each POV chapter, it's building intent, or not intent, but it's building
in intensity.
No, not intensity. It's building the motive,
Yeah.
not intent, but it's building the motive for each of the characters. As we learn more about them, you learn more about their motives. So I think the writing style of switching chapters was pretty cool like that.
Yeah, but the cool thing is we didn't know who was going to be the victim.
We didn't know who the victim or the
killer.
Yeah, the killer.
But it's funny because each POV, you did see all their past issues. You did see their thinking process and all that fun stuff, and it was pretty cool.
So it gave me a couple core themes. The first one being toxic masculinity and privilege. So kind of it broke it down using my notes. Will never thinks he's evil. He thinks he's untouchable.
Yep.
So there's that. So throughout the book, we learn of bad things that happen that he does, that he's a part of.
Yep.
But for some reason, since he's never been caught or held responsible, it's always been, oh, they can't touch me. The survival game. So like points from that are the survival game, sharing Hannah's sister's video, ghosting consequences while others suffer, Will's ability to reinvent himself socially and professionally. So do you think that Will knew how destructive he was, or did privilege blind him?
I feel like in a way he kind of was blinded by his privilege, but because of that privilege and how he grew up and what was expected of him, because his dad's a piece of work. She keeps stretching.
He's fine.
But he has that privilege, and then he has this idea in his head of who he's supposed to be, but he's kind of spoiled in a way. And because he's spoiled, he like throws tantrums. Like we learn that Will retaliated against Alice, which was Hannah's sister who passed.
Hannah's another character in the book that we learn about.
So we learn he threw a tantrum basically when she broke up with him and released that sex video, which ruined her future prospects of going into politics, and just she couldn't live with that. He took away her dream in a tantrum. So I think he knew, but he was kind of blinded. So there are a lot of instances where he's like, we did nothing wrong, or I did nothing wrong, or he just was really good at getting away with things.
Yeah, I could see that. And I could see how what you're saying about his privilege blinding him.
Yeah.
I kind of see it as he knows that he's destructive, and he's okay with it as long as it's not him being the one being destructed.
Yeah.
You know, like as long as he keeps moving. So the privilege blinding him in the beginning, you know, but he knew that he took the test papers, and he knew, you know, he knew that stuff, and he knew deep down that they let the kid out. You know, there's things that happen that shows to me, what I got out of it is that he knew he was bad.
Yeah.
But he was happy that he just kept getting away.
Well, I guess that kind of makes sense because he is given no chapters throughout this whole book, but he is giving 2 chapters at the end. And in one of them, you kind of see him kind of freak out. It's I wrote it down. Okay, page 288. Everything seems to have changed on the island. It's as though the place is doing it, like the island.
Yeah.
That we've been brought here for a reason. I know that's ridiculous. It's the fact of having so many people in a spot at once, past and present. I'm usually so careful, but I admit I hadn't thought it all through. How it might play out having them all here together, the consequences of it. That was from one of his chapters, one of his 2 chapters.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess you're right. He knew. Yeah.
He's able to work around keeping everybody separated long enough, and that in that chapter it shows, oh, I didn't really think about it that well.
Yeah.
So that's
arrogant.
Yeah, that's where I think it came from. But I think going back to your point, I think, that privilege in the beginning probably did blind him. My dad's the headmaster here. I can't get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. And then, use that in the future. So almost everyone helped Will by doing nothing. So Jono, who was his best friend from the beginning, stayed silent about a lot of things. A lot of the other friends, the boys, laughed everything off. Institutions protected Will, and women carried the fallout. Who is more guilty, the person who commits harm or the people who let it continue?
That's a hard one.
Yeah. So
because the people who let it continue, in this case, in the whole book of the guest list, they're all his victims in a way, except for the guys. Well, because John is a victim, but
yeah, victims and victim and perpetrator or whatever, because they're doing, some of the people are doing things with him.
Yeah, like Jono. But he got caught up in it, I think.
Yeah.
And he suffers for it daily. Like, he drinks and he smokes.
Mm-hmm. Does other drugs.
Yeah, and he does that to, like, function properly. There's a chapter where he dreams about Loner, the kid that they killed.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes outside and Effa finds him crying, sitting on a rock. And so it hits him differently. Like, he feels responsible.
Yep.
And Will doesn't. He's just living his life.
Jono almost has a sense of survivor's guilt. Like, I don't know what it would be technically called, but survivor's guilt from the other aspect. Like, he didn't survive something. He was part of something bad, but now he's feeling guilty. So there's probably a word for that. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. And then with the girls, like Olivia, she's broken and she doesn't know how to speak out.
Yeah.
So I think it's all Will. I think he's...
So in this case, he's
worse.
He's more guilty than the people letting it continue.
Yeah, because when you're a victim of something, in like Olivia's case, well, she wasn't really a victim. Like, how about Alice? How she was a victim of it, Hannah's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she couldn't speak about it because she felt so ruined.
Yeah.
Ruined enough that she took her own life. So...
Yeah, and that affects everybody different, not the taking of the life, but that situation, because that happens a lot and people do speak out when things like that happen.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's really on the person, I would say. I would think it's just like everything is like, it's dependent on the individual.
Well, then you also have to think about, he's so privileged. If they spoke out, these women from poorer homes,
mm-hmm. He would just deny it or something.
Imagine taking that to court and then... Oh, but you participated, victim blaming, blah, blah, blah. So that could happen, So sometimes women feel like they can't do stuff like that.
Yeah, but not even women. I mean, like...
Men too.
Jono didn't say anything about any of his participation in any of the issues. So he's staying silent too. So.
Yeah.
And then at the end tries not to be. But okay, well, I mean, that's cool. So that's cool. So that makes sense that... Yeah. In this situation, you think that Will is more responsible for committing harm.
What about you? What do you think? Who commits more harm for you?
I think it's both. I think
in their own way.
Right. I think it's so the people who let it continue knowingly, taking Alice out of this because she was gone,
Yeah.
But everybody else that knows what's going on or anybody that does. And they are letting it continue. Well, they're letting it continue. If they spoke up, then obviously he wouldn't be able to create the harm. Now, Will is the one creating the harm, so that's hard.
Yeah.
That's the chicken or the egg. So, like,
it is.
If he's doing something bad and I don't tell anybody
or stop
it, he's going to continue doing that bad thing. So he is the one doing the bad, but me not stopping it could also be bad. But then it comes down to, well, is it my responsibility as an adult someone to just tell another adult what to do? In that situation, Jono could have gone to the police or something, and I don't know. I don't know how they could have changed, but
I feel like it depends on your morals. Like, if you can't stand by what someone like Will is doing,
Yeah.
say something, even if it ruins the friendship or he cuts you out or he shifts blame to you.
Yeah.
I
Rip the Band-Aid off and just get it over with.
It just depends.
Yeah. I think they said something like this in the book, but it mentioned kind of just like, okay, well, let's just take the consequences and get it over with. I think that was one of Jono's, like, kind of when he started having the thoughts of,
I'm done with this.
when he realized that Will cut him out of the TV show and that stuff. So things started clicking for him. I think they kind of mentioned that. Okay. Do you have anything else on that type of thing before we just move on to do number 3 quickly?
Let's go ahead and do number 3. I might go back to some of those.
Yeah, I only have a few more little things just to kind of like quick talking points, and then we'll kind of do a deeper dive if you want.
Okay.
So same thing as number 2. If we don't think this is a good one, we don't have to discuss it. But identity versus performance. Every major character is performing. Jules performs the perfect bride. Will performs the changed man. Olivia performs the cool girl, which we didn't really agree with that because she's kind of the broken girl, in my opinion.
She doesn't. I feel like she's performing to get by.
Yes.
Because she's broken.
She's performing as the cool girl to get by. Yeah. But,
because she's not functioning.
Yeah.
So she's not the cool girl.
Hannah performs as the stable wife. And then Effa. Aoife. So we're not used to pronouncing that.
Yeah. We're probably still pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah. Performs helpful host. So which character do you think was the most honest? And which one was lying hardest to themselves?
Oh, hardest to themselves. Ooh. So that kind of goes off of one of mine, is the most reliable narrator. So what was the first part? Who is...
Which character do you think was the most honest?
Okay.
And which was lying hardest to themselves?
So I feel like Effa was the most honest, and lying to themselves, probably Hannah, surprisingly.
Okay. So tell me why Effie.
It's okay. You can call her that.
Tell me why you think that she's the most honest, because that's strange. I mean, maybe not strange, but I need a visual. I need a visual of that.
Probably because she never lied to anyone. Well, she did actually. Never mind. Maybe she's not the most honest.
Her name's Aoife. Yeah, Aoife. I just Googled it. Aoife.
Because, well, what I did is I did most reliable narrator, and she wasn't it.
She wasn't the most reliable?
Yeah, because she's the secret keeper.
Yeah.
She basically sees everything, watches everything, and keeps everyone's secret in the moment, you know? So maybe she's not the most honest. But also, if she's honest enough to keep the secret and not talk about it, maybe she is the most honest.
I wonder if she's the most honest with herself, because she knew exactly what she wanted to do.
Yeah. So maybe that should be the question. Who's the most honest with themselves? It's probably her, because Hannah lies to herself. Oh, I have the perfect marriage. Then you see Jules being like, I have the perfect life. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Then you see, what does Olivia lie to herself? I'll be fine. I'll be fine. You need to go get help.
Okay. Well, who do you think was lying the hardest to themselves then?
Probably Hannah. Because she was well aware of what was going on in her life, but she didn't want to confront it. Like, she knew something was wrong with Charlie and his relationship with Jules.
Yeah. And the whole time never wanted to ask the question. Finally does later on in the book, but...
He's a cheater.
Yep. Figure that part out. Never good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it kind of goes back to almost like Will's lying to himself.
Yeah.
Because he's telling himself, oh no, everything, it wasn't me. He's lying to himself. So I don't know, maybe him. I do see what you're saying about Hannah. Jules, I don't see Jules really lying to herself. I don't get that from what was written.
She's lying to the world.
I think, yeah, kind of. What is she lying to the world about? So like, yeah, I know the perfect life thing, but she
Yeah.
did build what she had and she was successful, right? Like, was there any other negatives that were brought out about her that
Her rage,
okay.
which we'll get into later. Like
Okay.
she hid that, you know, like
Yeah.
she's not this perfect person that she's trying to showcase to the world. And she's angry, like so angry. And she like basically breaks down kind of like how Hannah does, or not Hannah, Olivia does with her self-harm, you know?
Well, then that is a great segue into female rage. Quiet versus explosive. This book is about women absorbing damage. Hannah's sister dies quietly. Olivia self-destructs. Jules suppresses doubt. And Aoife explodes violently. So is Aoife a villain or the only one who actually holds Will accountable?
She's the only one who holds him accountable
And why?
because she stops him, but murder is not good.
So, okay. She is the only one holding him accountable by stabbing him?
She's the only one that holds Will accountable because she confronts him. No one else confronts him throughout the book except for Jono.
Jono confronts him.
Yeah. But she's also the villain because she murders him. So, but I think it's more like 75-25%, you know, like she's holding him accountable for what happened to Darcy, aka Loner, aka her brother.
Yep.
And she doesn't know about any of the other things.
So I don't think that she's a villain. I don't think she's written as a villain in the book.
Oh, no.
Yep. So in the book, I don't think she's the villain. Like you said, murder's bad, blah, blah, blah. But it is a fake book. So, not fake book. It's a real book. All right. So we're going to start with beer number 2 real quick. This is from Round Trip as well. This is Telcolte. Still messing the name up. It's a next level taste of Mexico that is honest, refreshing, and meant to be shared with your boo. Telcolte is packed with lemon drop hops for an extra citrusy punch. The malt forward body, wrapped in rich amber hue, goes down smoothly and finishes easy and crisp. Malty, crisp, balanced. So, let's bust this open.
Yeah.
Pour yours first.
Well, thank you. It's pretty.
They're rocking a case special right now. I'm not sure how long it's going on for, but if you get down there probably within the next couple days. It's mid-January, end of January right now.
Yeah.
If you get down there probably in the next couple days, they'll probably still have a case special going on. It's a full case for $44.
Not
So,
bad.
yeah, you get a case of beer. That's almost taking it back to the old school pricing. Beer is just getting so expensive nowadays. So, well, cheers.
Cheers.
Beautiful, beautiful color to it.
That's good too.
That's
I
easy.
taste the citrus.
Yep. Just a little burst.
I like the citrus.
Yeah, it's clean. It's subtle, like it says, but yeah, it's.
Reminds me of lemongrass tea.
Oh yeah, lemon drop hops. So there we go. Okay, so before we jump into our character deep dive, what else did you have on that female rage?
I have a lot.
Okay, so let's go.
So when I wrote it down, I wrote it down as unbalanced power dynamics. So you could see it even with the guys versus the guys versus the guys versus the girls. It's all unbalanced power dynamics, which also leads to the feminine rage. So I'm going to give you a few examples, or our reader or viewers a few examples.
Please.
So Effa, she's setting up for the wedding, and Will comes in. This is around page 141. She's short and professional in her answers, and he leans in and keeps talking to her when she keeps being short, saying, hey, I got to work, like giving those signs, like, leave me alone. And he puts his hand on her shoulder, and she states that he leaves it there for longer than necessary. And it makes her think that he's reminding her that he is in charge. And technically, in that situation, he is, because him and Jules hired her. But the way he did it made her uncomfortable. Then near page 134 to 135, Hannah gets stuck in the bog, and Duncan and Pete rescue her from that. But she has this thought after she's rescued, and she feels unequal and uncomfortable and runs back to the folly. That one is more of a gut feeling for her.
Well, she also had earlier in the book, she thought they were laughing at her.
Yeah.
So that might
add to it.
That definitely added to it. And she even brings that up. She's like, are they? And then she's like, how long were they standing there? Were they laughing at me in the folly, or not in the folly, but in the peat or whatever it is? So she seems to, think maybe they're making fun of her before everything too. So I don't know why she thinks that, but
well, I have something to go off of that.
Okay.
So on the wedding night, one of the wedding night chapters, page 143, Duncan says, Pete and I found Charlie's wife squealing like a stuck pig earlier in this bloody bog. So the language to describe Hannah is similar to the actions against Alice, Olivia, possibly other women. It's the mindset and actions that show more of the imbalanced power dynamic, Like if he's comfortable talking about that or talking about Hannah that way, what else does he think?
Right.
Then, well, the guys basically believe they're superior to someone like Hannah.
Yeah. And even her husband, Charlie.
Yeah.
Because of the stag party issues and stuff. So, they have, it's not just against her. And it's not just against, women in the book. They just feel entitled or above a lot of people.
I actually have that written down too.
Really?
Is the power dynamics issues don't just happen with the women. Charlie versus the guys, Jono versus the guys. Then we have Jono versus Will. We have Jules versus her mom. And like with Jules and her mom, her rage and her unbalanced power dynamic comes from her childhood and her mother. She said that Olivia had everything she didn't growing up, Also, there's Jules versus the public eye. That's unbalanced power dynamic. We get tabloid comments on page 147 where these internet strangers are just talking down on her, like judging her from a picture. They know her, but she doesn't know who these strangers could be. Like they think they know her.
Right.
Jules also has a power balance dynamic with her father. Like he's never there for her. She even yells at him on page 169 and then loses her control by smashing that vase. Remember that?
Yep. Had her rage.
Yep. And then you see it with when Effa meets Will's parents on page 157 to 158. His mom, and this is in quotes, gives the impression of someone trying to hide herself away, even within her own clothes. Then Will's dad describes himself as a bit of a disciplinarian. Then when Hannah meets them, she also didn't like the dad, So there's a lot. I have a lot more examples, like the first time Will passed around topless pictures of girl in high school, stuff like that, where it's just so unbalanced. There's even unbalanced power dynamic between Charlie and Hannah. Everything laid out is, you constantly see it through the book.
Yeah. So so that's a theme throughout the book, is a power imbalance, or?
Well, it could be, I guess, but it showcases all the rage displayed in the book, mainly the female rage.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of see it with Jono, him having his rage at the end. So I do think there are a couple of extra themes that we didn't go over.
Do you think that Jules truly loved Will? Or just loved what he represented? What he represented.
Yeah. What about you?
Probably that. I think maybe she thought it was a little bit of love, but it was so quick and Just seemed like that was going to be the perfect piece for her perfect life, and to keep that image going. What other themes? Do you have other themes that you wanted to touch on?
I can go ahead and say them.
If you want, yeah.
So one is of cowardice, and then the other is desire. Cowardice, you see that with Jono and the situation with Darcy, and then not telling anyone. But he wants to. You see it with Olivia and the situation with Will and not telling Jules or her mom. And she could have told her mom when she got the abortion.
Yeah.
But she didn't. Or when Will walked into their house. Like, she could have said something, but she didn't.
Her not telling them that, I think that's on her.
Yeah. She was young and stupid, I think.
Yeah, and what she did with him was probably stupid and lying and everything. And
he lied too, though. Both of them lied.
Right. But it's she started weaving a web of lies, and then it caught up, and then she's like, oh crap, what do I do? And then doesn't do anything, and then it continues to get to the point where Will dies. So maybe Will would still be alive if Olivia would have ratted him out.
Maybe. He would have definitely been more alone.
He would not be with Jules.
He would have gotten some consequences thrown his way for once. With the theme of desire, you see it. Hannah, she's not getting much from Charlie in the form of attention, but she gets it from Will, and then the guy she dances with, which was Lewis. Then you see Olivia has the desire for control because her life feels so out of control. She starts to self-harm. And then Jules, she has the desire to be wanted, as seen with her dad and her mom. And then Willis desires people like Alice or women. He desires money and fame. Jono desires stability.
One thing that Will mentioned is that he desired women that didn't think they were desirable.
Yeah.
So, like, Aoife, they talked about that. And then, even with the sister, Alyssa, what's her name? Alice?
Alice?
With Alice, he even mentioned the same thing with her. Like, she was like the smart one or whatever. It was like, oh, she didn't think she was pretty or whatever. But
it's funny because you asked about Jules. Did she really love him? I think Will really loved Alice, even though he hurt her, because on page 275 to 278, Hannah was talking with Lewis and Jethro, and one of them says that she was the one who got away, referring to Alice.
Referring to Alice.
And referring to Will's relationship with Alice.
Gotcha.
For Will, Alice was the one that got away. And that's when Hannah clicks that Will was the boyfriend who ruined my sister's life.
Yep.
So then her rage comes in.
then her rage comes. Okay, well that all makes sense. Did you have any other points that you wanted to?
Yeah.
Like, what did you got?
Yeah. So
I'm just gonna sit back and drink some beer while you talk and just go, Oh wow, yeah.
I really, really, really liked the forlorn feeling of like the descriptions you got of the island. And even on page 124, Effa or Effie, however you... Aoife says...
pronounced EE-FA.
There you go. Aoife. She says on page 124, here there's the added danger of the whole island. The wilderness of this place gets under your skin. These guests will feel themselves far from the normal moral codes of society, safe from the prying eyes of others. In my experience, those who have the greatest respect for the rules also take the most enjoyment in breaking them. And then going off of that, you see on page 129, that was Hannah's first thought of the kids when she went up to take a walk and she could call them. She's so far away from normal because she's on the island that she forgot her kids.
Yeah.
So like that's just one example. And I feel like everyone drinking, going crazy at the wedding, and that they're away from society. They're in the wilderness. And I thought that was cool. And then
Why is it cool? Like, why did you just use the word cool for that? You said, I think that's cool. What makes that cool? And what is the writing cool about it? Or like what is cool?
So cool, like you see it described throughout the whole book, the island having this dark, dreary description. And then you read that passage from Aoife.
Yep.
And then you can relate it to situations like Hannah's. And I think that's so cool when you can connect the dots like that.
Gotcha.
Well, another thing that is cool is the island, after it's described like that, I think it's a parallel of the school that the guys went to. Because on page 252, someone, I think it was Jono, I didn't write down the name because I was going fast trying to read. It said you had to be, insert bad word, to survive that place. You had to be a bad person to survive that place.
Yeah, you had to be mean.
Yeah, which goes back to the game of survival, and it goes back to the cheating, the stealing, the drinking on the roof. And then you go to the island and you have to be mean to survive that place and not get murdered, basically. Or not fall in a bog. Or not puke your guts up on the way to the island. But I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd see it as mean because, like, what was Hannah doing that was mean? Or you're saying everybody else was doing mean things to not end up in the bog.
Hannah was flirting with Will in front of her husband.
So she did mean things and she fell into the bog. You said not to fall into the bog.
Yeah.
So,
I guess that's not mean, but.
Yeah, okay. And like the people. Okay.
Falling into the bog is more like survival, the game at the school. Whereas her flirting with Will is more mean to Charlie, you know?
Yeah.
It's not fair to her husband. And it's like you don't see that fairness at the school the guys went to.
Right.
And then you had to survive the school when they played the game Survival. It was like a hazing ritual. And we saw Darcy get killed when he was made to play it. So.
Yeah. It's a good connection. Okay. What else you got?
I do like that we get to learn about Will through others' POVs. And he didn't have chapters until the end of the book. Reading about Will and Jono's relationship as time went on in the book was crazy to me because you see Jono trying to keep up with Will, just trying to fit in because he was an outsider. He was a scholarship kid. And then he was
Didn't come from wealth. Shouldn't have been at the school.
Yeah.
But he was there because of the scholarship.
Yeah. And then he was like proving them right as the mess up kid because he wasn't successful after school. And, but then we learned that Will basically kicked him out of the filming of Survive the Night. And
something that he actually would have been good at.
And something that it was his idea. Like, that's kind of heartbreaking.
That just shows Will's character again and how, you know, for him to get his way.
Yeah.
He would do whatever.
Yeah. I don't really have much else other than, were you surprised it was Aoife that killed Will?
Yes and no. I think since she was kind of the outlying character who had a chapter or had multiple chapters, the outline, I say outlying because she wasn't part of the friend group. You okay, really?
Yeah, it fell. There we go.
Okay. She wasn't part of the friend group. She's not part of the family. She's an outlier for the characters. Obviously, she's tied in with, you know, her brother and all that stuff. But
her husband. Oh wait, no, her brother. Yeah, and being the host.
Right. Yep. But then, kind of as it went on, and it was talking about certain things. Like, let me see if I can just pull it up. right here. Just go to one of her chapters. The wedding planner. She gets a knife from her. Oh, so like that part. Like when she gets the knife from her husband, she mentions that the bride requested the meat knife be super sharp. Why would she want a sharp knife? So I started questioning it at that point. And that's before we knew it was Aoife.
Yeah,
So
the little hints.
that was towards the end of the book. So I was surprised because it started building up more motive right at the end for two other people as well. So you're like,
Who?
I think Hannah and then also Jewel.
Jonna.
Or Jono as well. I mean, so multiple people then.
Mhm. Well, first instinct would be Jono would be the killer because of how he's like confronting Will in the cave.
For you.
For me, yeah. And then I like though that the clues of Aoife was she went to the grave at the beginning of the book,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, whose grave are you at?
And then the name Darcy, because they see it as when Hannah, I believe, or somebody else is walking on the island. I think it was Hannah. She finds the gravestones.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, this is like somebody's family and stuff. Like there's a girl or something, mentions that. But it's trying to throw us off there because the name's Darcy, which is actually the boy.
Yep.
So then, yeah, when that all comes around, you're like, the big discount that she gave to Jules to get them there. You know, we learn about that. She says, hey, give her over 50% off because we know she'll talk about it in her magazine. So, I mean, to answer your question, yes and no. There were hints, so I was seeing it, but there could have been other people as well. So.
Yeah, there were hints for everyone.
Yep. Well, final question then for me. Before we move on to talk about what we thought, or our final scores, and then move on to the next book. If Will survived, do you believe he would have ever faced consequences? It's kind of a hard one because it's obviously a fake story.
Well, based off of the actions of all the characters, I think it's a 50% chance.
Okay.
Like for some, he would. We know Hannah wouldn't do anything because she's not part of that group.
Right.
Charlie would have faced a consequence and she would have left him. She probably would have revealed somehow that the famous survive the guy night helped kill my sister, even though he didn't kill her. But I could see that happening because she got to a point where, hold on, I got this written down. She had beneath, so page 229, I think. Hannah, after figuring out the Alice Will connection, beneath my calm exterior, it is a rage so powerful, it frightens me. So I think she would have done something, not violent, but something to make it known what he did.
So you're saying yes. You think that if he did survive that, between Jono, Hannah, and Olivia, and everybody else, they would have made him face. Somebody would have talked.
Yeah, and I think Jethro would have talked. Or Jethro. That's the other guy at the wedding. Jono would have talked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jono would have talked. Hannah would have talked. I think Aoife, if she didn't do anything, she would not have talked.
She would have just kept it with her.
Yeah, she would have suffered with that knowledge.
Yep.
Because she saw Jono was probably going to talk. She probably wouldn't have done anything. Then we see Olivia. I don't think she would have done anything, and I don't think Jules would have either. Other than cut him off. She would have divorced him or annulled the marriage. But I don't think the guys, the ushers, wouldn't do anything. Because on page 285 to 286, the guys finding Will's body describe him as their anchor and loved by all, which is so completely different than all the POV chapters we get. So they wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
They would have been like, bro, we got you. Can't believe
okay.
Yeah.
We'll make it through this. Yeah. So going off that, was Will's death justified?
No death is. But because I hate his character, sure.
There's your hot take. Okay, sweet. Well, what do you give it?
I don't know. Thinking maybe a 3.9. Maybe a 3.8. Let's go with 3.8.
Let's see. My last one, I gave it a 4 because I was entertained. This one I was entertained. It made me think again.
I feel like it was slower in the beginning, but really picked up toward the end.
Yeah.
That's why my score's lower.
I think I'm gonna give it the same as I gave Me Before You. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Cool. That's a good one.
Would I read it again? No. Was I entertained? Yes. So that's it.
So for people who want to read it, it's part of Reese Witherspoon's book club. I did look that up. And can confirm.
Yeah, we were curious about that.
It's Lucy Foley's The Guest List. Great book. If you want to read it, very
great book would be a 5-star, baby. You just gave it 3.8.
It's a great book. It's not my favorite.
I'm just joking.
Not my favorite at all. But do you want to know what next book is?
No.
Oh.
Of course I do.
Okay. It's a historical fiction by Arthur Golden. It's called Memoirs of a Geisha.
Okay.
It's not high school. You told me you didn't want high school.
Yeah. It came out while we were in high school.
Yeah, I read it in high school. So, in Memoirs of a Geisha, we enter a world where appearances are paramount, where a girl's virginity is auctioned to the highest bidder, where women are trained to beguile the most powerful men, and where love is scorned as illusion. It is a unique and triumphant work of fiction, at once romantic, erotic, suspenseful, and completely unforgettable.
Okay.
You want to know how many book pages are in it?
How many book pages? Yeah.
It's our biggest one yet. Hold on, gotta get there. They're thin pages. Okay, there's 35 chapters, and there are 428 pages.
Sweet. What made you pick this?
Because you said you didn't want to read high school.
And this is the only book in your arsenal that doesn't involve high schoolers?
No.
Oh, so why'd you pick it?
Because I figured we'd take a shift from what we've done. We did YA dystopian sci-fi. We did modern day murder mystery. We did, what was the last one? Oh, it was like more of a closer to nonfiction, but it wasn't nonfiction. Just regular fiction about life.
It was close to nonfiction, but it wasn't nonfiction. It was still fiction.
It was stuff that could happen in real life. Okay.
Okay.
And then this is a historical fiction. So I figured we'd go back in history, and it's from like Japanese culture. It's going to be, hopefully, I hope you like it. It's really good.
Sweet.
But I have another book coming in the mail that I think you will like a lot.
Sweet. Well, we'll knock this one out for next week.
Okay.
And then we'll keep on trucking.
Okay.
All right. You got anything else to say?
No, other than comment if you want us to read a certain book.
Yeah. Share, like, comment, subscribe. We're going to get the Facebook rocking this week. Don't know why that wasn't up yet. Oops. I'm still working out the Spotify issue. So if you're watching this, we will come to Spotify. Just can't get it linked right now for some reason. So still working on that. Like, subscribe. We out.
We out.
Peace.